Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for a late night review of NXT from the May 23rd, 2018 edition of NXT. That, of course, took place in Full Sail Anniversary. Wow. Full Sail University, as we are, I think, 4 weeks away, I think it is again, from TakeOver Chicago 2. Let me tell you something, guys. Raw was crap this week. SmackDown was pretty good. It was an A, and I gave it an A- for grade. If I gave that show an A-, there was no way I could pass up giving this show a solid A like I did. This show was good. This was a really good show of an edition of NXT. Everything felt like it mattered, from the opening tag match to the progression, a change of character for a certain tag team that will be an Eternaler on after I do this live review, to a match that actually got me a little bit more invested in someone I wasn't that invested in before. We're going to be getting previews of another upcoming wrestler for the women's division next week as well, showing off there. A great handicap. I'm really off right now. A great handicap match, and also a great ending that took the feud of the year, in my opinion, so far to a whole nother level. And boy, am I excited to talk about this show. Again, I do apologize for the late review, as I mentioned earlier on my 205 live review, my SmackDown live review, that I was going to be watching the season finale of Survivor Ghost Island tonight with my parents, which of course we started an hour later because I had to wait for someone to get home. But no worries at all. I was able to catch NXT before Survivor, at least. So that's what I'm here to do, and we will get started in talking about NXT tonight. We open up with a tag match. It was Heavy Machinery and TM61. As TM61 has slowly been turning heel lately. The match, though, I thought was a solid opening tag match between these two teams. Definitely felt they brought the best in each other. Heavy Machinery in a more, big man, style, pretty much. TM61, of course, the more high flyers from Australia, as they were recently been brought back to NXT after being out for a year, ever since I can't forget which. I keep forgetting which one it was who had the knee injury. I think it was Shane Thorne. I think who had the injury. They brought them back. They had these videos hyping us up, getting to know who these guys are, again, reintroducing themselves. And then they come back and they lose in the first round of Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, which I was surprised. I thought that they could have, had them journey to being into, the finals, at least for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, which that did not happen. So recently in a match against the Street Profits, they cheated the win by putting their foot on the ropes, and your person holding them down the ropes, and the referee didn't see it. The same result happened here also, as Heavy Machinery, did take notice of that in their match. They were going to make sure none of that happened. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case, as the same thing happened, and once again they got another victory based off of feet on the ropes. I'll talk more about this heel turn, though, in my turn alert video, which I will do again as soon as I get off this live review. But yeah, so again, we're going to do the heel rush with TM61. So this is another match just continue to establish them further as a new heel tag team in NXT. Then we get a Bianca Belair hype video. She is definitely one of the been one of the most not surprised, but one of the best upcoming attractions in the women's division in NXT. Of course, the champion is now on a great heel already in Shayna Baszler, and of course somebody like Bianca Belair. I don't see her being the one as a baby face eventually to dethrone Shayna. I think it's going to eventually be Dakota Kai to dethrone Shayna Baszler, which you actually are getting a match between the two of them next week, but I don't think Dakota's going to win the title then, because I think that they're going to continue build up this history between them, and I'm still predicting by TakeOver LA or War Games 2, the weekend of Survivor Series, I keep feeling that should be the time when Shayna drops the title. What's up, TN Couponer? How you doing? I'm doing pretty good myself today. How about yourself? Again, sorry this review is late. I was catching the season finale of Survivor again. I will not spoil, though, who won, though, because I don't want it, in case anybody else didn't catch it yet, I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, I do think Bianca Belair, though, is definitely an upcoming star. I mean, eventually, I think Dakota Kai will be the one to dethrone Shayna Baszler. Bianca Belair can easily be the one to also dethrone Dakota Kai, like eventually down the line. She's definitely a future NXT Women's Champion. She asks herself why she's the fastest rising star in and the EST of NXT, asking the viewer if we understood the significance of her roots, and we'll learn more about next week when Belair gets the who is treatment, pretty much, which I do like those, who is this wrestler person. It's worked very well with, again, TM61, Roderick Strong last year, especially, and a few others. So I think it will also work very well for Bianca Belair, as well, as she's definitely going to be a big deal in the NXT women's division. Yes, that Gargano and Ciampa rivalry. Can't wait to talk about that segment at the end of this review. I will definitely do so. T and Coop Hunter. We also get a spot with EC3. Highlights of him stunning over himself at a rooftop pole. We're going to get his third match next week. We can already see the trilogy's effect as he turns NXT into NX3. He's proven he's the best here, the best there, the best anywhere. If he can do that in 3 matches, imagine what he can do in 4. Then we had this match. It was Kairi Sane taking on Lacey Evans. And I will admit, at first, for a while, I wasn't getting too much behind Lacey Evans. I thought she was just all talk. She just kept coming out there saying that she's like the first lady of NXT, pretty much, or she knows how to be a proper woman here, and none of the other ones do. But she just kept losing and losing and losing. Then they gave her this new entrance team, which I was okay with her recent entrance team, but she didn't really impress me that much in the ring. I don't know if it was just a little bit of a different look they gave, but this match, the build was there with the heat, with her continuing to go after Kairi Sane and not go down without a fight. And I believe this is the first time I can remember Kairi Sane. Well, I think she tapped out to Shayna Baszler. I can't remember. But one of the very few times I remember Kairi Sane losing clean, as Kairi went for, again, the match itself was very physical. The two of them beat the crap out of each other right from the get-go, and I was really into it. And also, but then Kairi went for that insane elbow drop, but it didn't work out, as Lacey followed up with a women's rights on her, as she called it, to get the victory. I just saw a little bit more in the Lacey Evans character, and it got me more invested. Definitely, like, okay, she is a serious threat. I didn't say it was before, but I wasn't quite getting behind it at first. But now I'm starting to see, something coming out of this. So I definitely think it was a great way to help elevate Lacey as well go forward. I mean, Kairi's okay, you're taking the loss, but it's an even playing field at 1-1, as we'll probably get a rubber match eventually between these two sometime down the line. Then we have Kathy Kelly outside, and she sees Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae showing up. It's the first time I believe Johnny Gargano has shown up on NXT since that brutal beatdown he took from Tommaso Ciampa before an NXT championship match he was going to have against Aleister Black a few weeks ago. Johnny says his neck has seen better days, but he and his wife sat down and had a discussion as a team. He doesn't want to do it, but it has to be done. He's not going to tell Kathy now, though. They're heading into full sales so they can tell everyone. We had a recap of also last week's main event, that really great 6-man tag match between Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, and Pete Dunne in the Undisputed Era. And Danny Burch got the winning pin on the tag team champions. And they pretty much claim that they should be up for a tag title shot event, which I think, I predicted it first. I predicted it my predicted match card, since, we have Adam Cole as North American champion and the Undisputed Era still tag champions, but I still think they should at least be state champions like that until at least TakeOver Brooklyn 4. I feel then that's the earliest thing you could draw up, because they at least have the tag championships, since the beginning of the year, I believe it was. I mean, Adam Cole's North American champion was at the end, but I thought, what if they have, Pete Dunne and Mustache Mountain taking on them? That way, any of them could be, good qualifiers as well for the North American Championship. Have a 2 falls match, first fall for the tag titles, first fall for the North American Championship. But it's not going to happen. Doesn't look like. So I got that prediction wrong. But it looks like we're going to be getting Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch getting a tag title opportunity against Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong's tag titles. I still don't know yet what's going on with Adam Cole's North American Championship, but we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks with that as well. The Undisputed Era is hanging on the backstage, and Cole says last week was a fluke, and the sad thing is those 3 losers are going to brag about for the rest of their pathetic lives. O'Reilly fish and Strong says it does not give Lorcan and Birch the right to a title match. Kyle blames Pete Dunne for giving the Britain Brawlers false hope, and the group agrees that they'd never heard of Oni until last week. Fish is excited about TakeOver Chicago 2, but Roddy can't wait because next he's going to take care of Mr. Number 2, Daniel Birch. Cole says that is undisputed. They do their nice looking pose. I probably did that way wrong right there. But yeah, so next week it sounds like we are getting not besides a match between Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship, we're also going to be getting the getting a match between Roderick Strong and Danny Burch also as well. Anything in the live chat? It was a hard-hitting women's match. Yes, a good idea about the 2 falls title match. Definitely been good. Because like I said before, you know, I mean, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, I think, wouldn't have been too bad people to go after the North American Championship also. But if they would have had Mustache Mountain there, like, you know, what if Tyler Bate somehow miraculously won the North American Championship? I mean, Trent Seven would be worthwhile, but also. But again, it doesn't look like that's happening now. But I just got the idea based off of, you know, the triple threat match at WrestleMania with Angle, Benoit, and Jericho. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. But I don't know. So I don't know who's going to feud for North American Championship. That would have been a good match, I felt, if it happened. What was also a great match was this handicap match. It was Lars Sullivan taking on the team of Ricochet and Velveteen Dream. Based off what happened last week, Ricochet and Velveteen Dream were both trying to make their cases to eventually, you know, get a shot at the NXT Championship and prove who's the better one there. We're having a match, and Lars Sullivan came out and wanted to insert himself into the equation. So since they both wanted a shot at Lars Sullivan, they made this 2-on-1 handicap match. Man, was this great! Definitely had some great, you know, tag action. You know, I thought Velveteen Dream and Ricochet, if they ever seriously one day would consider making these two a tag team, they would be great together with their similar styles and whatnot. They you know, they worked Lars Sullivan very well as a tag team. Sullivan, of course, though, was built to look like a dominating monster in this tag match. I believe he was definitely. Of course, the turning point, though, in this match came towards the end of the match. I'm trying to remember what happened. Ricochet made a blind tag and hit an aerial moonsault of his own, pretty much. And I think Dream just got upset by that because he almost screwed him. So he grabbed Ricochet, hit the Death Valley driver on him. And then he just walked out and allowed Lars Sullivan to pick him up for the freak accident to get the victory. So it looks like that Lars Sullivan has surpassed the both of them. And I think he'll be the one to get the NXT Championship shot against Aleister Black at TakeOver Chicago 2. But this feud between Velveteen Dream and Ricochet continues and trying to outdo each other. I think that can easily be a shot. I mean, TakeOver Chicago 2, if we do get another match, we'll probably get another match with Gargano and Ciampa, you know, looking like a tag match with Undisputed Era and Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. Now probably Lars Sullivan and Aleister Black, but that Velveteen Dream and Ricochet match can be an absolute show stealer by far. I feel that's going to be a very awesome match. Again, I thought they worked great together as a team. You know, the high flying action they did, they were just trying to outsmart Lars Sullivan. But Lars Sullivan still kind of looking like a dominating monster as well. It was a win-win-win for all three of these wrestlers, and that's why, to me, it's personally one of my favorite 2-on-1 handicap matches I've ever seen. Definitely a hidden gem, I'd say. If I do I want to maybe by the end of the year also, I try to do some top 10s like at the end of the year. I feel like I want to do some top 10 hidden gems from this year. There's been a couple great hidden gems, definitely. I feel, you know, should be noted for the for like best match of the year candies. And this is definitely one of those hidden gems. This handicap match, this was just a really good match. To end the Gargano versus Ciampa feud at TakeOver SummerSlam in a 3 stages of hell match. First fall wrestling match, second fall street fight, third fall cage match, or hell in a cell. Ooh. Since that's, if they do a third match between these two at TakeOver Brooklyn for SummerSlam weekend, that would be excellent. I mean, I've been dying to see a 3 stages of hell match. I think the last time we've actually had one was with Cena and Ryback at Payback in 2013. But I think I want to see another one. I mean, I think that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, there a few between them could be worthy of a 3 stages of hell match, but I didn't even think of that. A 3 stages of hell match between Gargano and Ciampa would be awesome, pretty much. Speaking of which, before we get to that, we had a backstage interview with Dakota Kai. It was announced about her title match next week. Kai says it's been her dream for a long time. She's psyched about Warriors against Shayna Baszler, a bully who gets in her head. Shayna rolls up and asks her if that's what Dakota thinks this is. Her dream come true. Kai knows she has no chance against her, right? And then Kai is nervous, but she steels herself and says, "We'll see about that," and walks away. Shayna seems a little shocked and off-put that her challenger actually stood up for herself against someone like her, pretty much after what she's been afraid of all this time. And also advertised that Aleister Black will be here next week as well. So again, we'll probably learn who is going to be challenging Black for a championship as of now with the win over Dream and Ricochet. I think it's probably going to be Lars Sullivan challenging for the NXT Championship. I thought for a few weeks ago, I would have thought it was going to be Black against Gargano and Ciampa in a triple threat, but I really felt that, especially for TakeOver Chicago, I've been saying for months, I felt they need to have some type of match TakeOver Chicago too, especially since Chicago is where the turn happened, pretty much. I mean, even if this happens to be the end of the feud, like it could, be a way to ending for, Gargano to finally get his full revenge on Ciampa there. But, I do like that 3 stages of hell match idea, unless if they somehow decide to do it at TakeOver Chicago to have a 3 stages of hell match. There would be epic, I feel. But we'll see what happens. But we have Gargano come out and Candice LeRae come out also. And, they're high-fiving some fans in the seats. They get on the microphone. And Johnny tells the crowd he loves them too. Candice takes his hand as he runs down his last appearance, ending him in a stretcher rather than an NXT Championship match. When we woke up every day, his body reminds him of that day, being kneed in the head, thrown into the LED, and put through a table. He's been doing this for a long time, but he sat down with Candice and realized he's decided it's time to start thinking about their future. He needs to ask himself, is it worth it? The crowd is chanting yes, but Johnny says his injuries have taken a toll on himself, his family, and his wife. He puts the mic down and whispers to Candice, "I'm sorry." He rips off the neck brace as Candice starts trying to tell him no, don't do this, don't do this. But Johnny starts screaming out, "You're damn right this is worth it." And he's calling Tommaso Ciampa out. And then Candice just runs out of the ring as she's scared to death and just begging Johnny, not to do this, not to do this to yourself with your health and everything. With these beatdowns and everything, it's made Tommaso Ciampa come off as very dangerous, definitely. And Ciampa comes out and says, "Boy, you have until I walk to the ring to change your mind." And Candice returns with referees pretty much to try to stop the two of them as Johnny's trying to get, through them to get to Tommaso. And then they get out of the ring. He's going around the ring. He's trying to get there. And Tommaso is taunting him again, telling him to listen to his wife and be a good little boy, which Johnny just snaps and just lets go of his wife, and he charges to the ring, and Candice falls and tries to stop him, but then Ciampa shoved him on the apron, and he came down and he knocked Candice right into the ramp. And I saw them like, oh shit! Like he continues to do so. Like Tommaso Ciampa continues to try, break everything in Johnny's life. Pretty much, he tried taking away his career. He took away his big moment when he when he got his last shot at the NXT Championship against Andrade Cien Almas, which gets away his career, but he took away his moment also. He got his job back, but then he tried to, take him out again. And now he's trying to, mess with the relationship with his family pretty much, especially, with Candice trying to tell him to stop this and just, it's not worth it anymore. You have a future to think about, but Johnny just wants to, not go down quietly. He won the battle at TakeOver New Orleans, which again was definitely just an emotional roller coaster ride of a match. Definitely one of the best matches we've seen in a long, long time. But this, again, I thought this would be about. That's why I put in my predictions a falls count anywhere match and a no more contention for the NXT Championship. I think this has gone way past the NXT Championship. This is even more personal, especially with Ciampa pushing Gargano into his wife, as it's now causing problems between Johnny and his wife. As Johnny doesn't want to give this up, but Candice thinks for his own safety he needs to stay away from Ciampa. But Johnny's not going down that fight. Johnny already won the battle, but he wants to win the war. So we'll see what match they have at TakeOver Chicago 2. I mean, I would love to see it try to top off the match at TakeOver New Orleans, as as I always say, nothing will ever outdo their match at all, which is why that was the main event. I think the same thing's going to happen at TakeOver Chicago 2. Now there's even more to the story. I am dying to see what happens at what happens between these two at TakeOver Chicago 2, as it's gonna get ugly. Man, it's gonna be. This is gonna be a fight. I mean, again, the last match wasn't as brutal, like physically as I wanted to be, but again, as the story it told was just bold. It told there. I think this is gonna be a lot more physical of a fight this time around. As these two are literally going to go in there and try to kill each other even more than they tried to do last time as well. I cannot wait to see what the stipulation is to the match that they have at TakeOver Chicago 2. Tia Cooper said, it's odd how NXT can have Gargano versus Ciampa in a well-written feud, but Raw and SmackDown can't equal it. Oh, yeah, because, one, Triple H is in charge of NXT, and two, he also has a good writing team with him also, who actually knows how to write, good quality stories, not just good quality, but great stories as well. And everything feels like it matters, not just constant filler matches that just get no one anywhere. But man, what a way to end the show with Johnny being pushed right into his wife. As this feud just got really personal, and Gargano is coming after Ciampa big time, and he's not going to settle until he's won this war. Win or lose, both of these guys have already come out winners in this feud, definitely, as this has been, no doubt about, feud of the year, in my honest opinion. But guys, that's pretty much it for this live review of NXT. Excuse me. Thank you, Tia Coupon, again, for joining me live. And I do apologize again for being late, as I was catching the season finale of Survivor. But as I said before, there's no doubt about it. This episode of NXT was just great. It deserves an A. Solid A. Great show. It has me more hyped up for TakeOver Chicago, more than anything. I will try to do a special live stream tomorrow for another top 10 or something. I'm not sure exactly which topic I'm going to do yet. I mean, I do have some suggestions still written down, thanks to Dakota, Lauren, Hassan, anybody else who's ever given me any top 10 suggestions. Thank you very much. So I'll try to decide there. Also, I also have a recommendation. Also, I just shared it on Twitter. Also, I found a remix today of Gangnam Style and Ruval Evil, Aleister Black's theme song. It's very badass. I highly recommend checking it out. It is pretty cool. But yeah, again, I give this episode of NXT an A. What grade would you give this episode of NXT? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure as always to click my like and subscribe or come to this channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandEverybody3. Have a good night as well. T and Coupon, again, thank you for joining me live, buddies. Always good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. And with that, guys, I'm checking out. So I will see you guys all later whenever my next video is. So until then, guys, have a great night. Peace out, everybody.